Oh, something that I just remembered. I don't think I ever said anything about this. Is that characters that are dead can still use spells outside of battle. So, for instance, say Kara dies in a battle. Well, she can use Rever on herself outside of battle and bring herself back to life, and she can heal the party while she's dead, which is useful. It's odd but useful. A hunting bow, which is the second worst bow in the game. Sell it for like 200 Meseta, and the aqua parts. So we're done with this place. Because I'm weird, I'm going to give the aqua parts to Wren because he must hold all of his parts. He must hold all of his parts, and including both sub parts. But we're done with this place. I'm not going to bother walking out. You've already seen me walk through the place. Just use an escapipe or retrace your steps. And now that we have the aqua parts, the first thing we're going to do is get Orakio's sword. And if you'll remember, that is in Landon. They said that Orakio's sword was holding a force in the sunken temple. Remember we were on our way to the cave to get the sapphire from Lyle? Well, that's where we're going. So I'll meet you there. Okay, here we are in Landon. We went the way of Elysium to get here. And we're going to head on around here. We're going to skip the arrow parts strip. The airstrip. And head up to this dock here. And now that we have the aqua parts, we turn into the aqua skimmer. Let's head on over to that sunken temple, shall we? Now, this is the island that has that sapphire cave on it. You want to head northeast of it? Here we are. I overshot a little bit. We turn directly into a submarine. Hopefully you didn't get pinched in the moving parts. And any way you go in here is the correct way. It'll all lead to the same area. So, there's the sword over there. The sword is bigger than a human, but that is alright. I guess it would look pretty puny if it was the size of an actual sword proportional to the characters of the game. So let's go ahead and yank that sucker out. We let out Dark Force, yay! We screwed everybody. And we learned Megiddo. What is Megiddo? And what does it do? Well, you don't find that out till the very end of the game, but I'll kind of tell you. In Phantasy Star 2 and Phantasy Star 4, you can actually use the spell. It's called Megid, I think, in 2. It might be called Megiddo in 4. But anyway, you use it, and it's a really, really powerful attack. Well, in this game, you can't actually use it. It uses itself as part of the storyline at the end of the game. It's given to your main character, and you have no say over it, unfortunately. But we have Orakio's sword now, which means we have 3 of the 5 legendary weapons. Only 2 left. Mion's Claw and Siren Shot. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to equip a sword. That's right. We're going to equip a sword. Because Orakio's sword is really good compared to the Needlers. And because this is the point of the game where the damage you can do with a sword just really outstrips the use for Needlers. And if you look at the techniques for Aiden, he has Megiddo over there in the bottom right. So now what we're going to do, now that we have Orakio's sword, we're going to head over to Mion, because remember she was looking for Orakio's black sword? That's right. We're going to head over to Hazatak. I'll see you there. Okay, here we are at Hazatak. Now let's head north a bit to find that crazy, crazy cyborg. Here she is. Talk to her. I'm not Orakio. She dies. She dies for some reason. Well, at least she conveniently died after dropping this chest with Mion's Claw in it. Now, why she didn't have 2 on her, I don't know. But let's go ahead and give that to Mew, because as you guessed, it's very good. Laya's bow is actually the only legendary weapon that is garbage. That's actually the worst bow in the game. Now that we have that, we only have the Siren Shot left. And remember, the only other clue we have to go on is that there's a place called Sage Isle and Aquatica that we can reach now that we have the aqua parts. So I'm going to head on over to Aquatica now. See you there. Okay, we're in Aquatica. We flew over to the eastern airport over here, and let's step in the dock. Let's step in the dock. I guess on the dock, but whatever. Now let's head up. Then slightly left. Any guesses what this place might be called? You probably got it wrong. It's Sage Isle. That's right. Now there's some cool enemies in here. They get pretty good. They get pretty good money. Pretty good money. We have a Drake on the left and a Wraith on the right. Now, there's something cool about the Wraith. The Wraith doesn't have a sword, as you see, but when he attacks, his sword, like, flashes on the screen several times. There it is. Now, you'll probably be noticing that we're taking a lot of damage from physical attacks. That's partly due to the enemies just being strong now, and also the fact that our armor is pretty bad. Okay, we've got a dragon on the left and a caliph on the top right. But we could have built up a lot of money and gone to Mistoke and bought the best armor in the game there. But I figured I'd go ahead and just wait till after we got back from Skyhaven Dungeon and Sage Isle, because we're gonna have enough money by then to buy everybody the best equipment. So just save a little bit of time for me. Preventing some grinding from taking place. Alright, we have the Royal Emil, which is awful. Sell it for some money. A Vulcan. Now, there's something kind of funny about the Vulcan being in this dungeon. There's also something funny about not having enough inventory space. Alright, we can give the Trimates to someone else. He doesn't need Trimates. Alright, Vulcan, to Wren, have him equip it. Now, it is better. I'm not denying that. It is a good weapon. But the funny thing about it is an imp fowl down there. That's what's funny about the Vulcan, the imp fowl. It's kind of a rare enemy, actually, in this area. And if I hadn't talked about the Azure Fires, there they were. But the funny thing about the Vulcan is that right down here, you meet Wren look-alike. And it's actually Siren. Everybody makes mistakes. And he dies and drops a Siren shot, which goes to Wren. So, directly below a better weapon, you get an even better weapon. So, there you go. Anyway, let's go ahead and head on the left here. Now we've gotten all... Wait. We have all 5 legendary weapons now, don't we? Excellent. Royal Sword. We already have a Rakio Sword. Royal Sword's worthless. Healing is a good idea. Alright, now when we entered this place, we took a first right. Now we're going to go back and take a left to the other half. So let's head on over here. Now we're going to head all the way left until we hit a treasure chest. That's going to be our stopping point. And what's in the last chest of this dungeon? Well, whatever it is, it has to be great. A great item, right? Because we got a good weapon for Wren in here. Got all 5 legendary weapons. We're feeling good about ourselves, and then we get a royal shield. But we can sell it for some money. Make buying that armor slightly less tedious. Now we're going to go down here. If you take that path to the left of this, it just loops around in a big circle. So don't worry about it. Alright, there's a worm to the left. I wonder when we'll be fighting a worm. It's, for some reason I haven't fought one yet. Alright, I think that was the last enemy in this area that we haven't seen. Let's talk to these dudes. Yes, we know. We have Napoleon Complex with the weapons. We're trying to overcompensate by being puke yellow, but... yeah, we gathered them. That's right. You better be worthy. Nye. Very good. The Grand Technique of Mew. Now, Nye is a character in Phantasy Star 2. I'm not going to give too much away about her, but just a character in Phantasy Star 2. She played a pretty important role. And the Grant's technique from you is just like the Magito technique for Aiden. Are we playing as Aiden? Yes. It doesn't, you can't use it. It gets used for storyline purposes. So don't worry about it. And we now know the power words. of Nye. So that's good. Okay, now we have to return to Skyhaven to beef up our weapons. Rocky Oda brother. Does he also have a black sword? I'm doing my best, man. Doing my best. Alright. Now, I'm going to go ahead and walk out, and I'll meet you back at Skyhaven. Okay, we're back at the Skyhaven Elders. Hopefully we're ready. We've been preparing for it the entire time. It is the Word of Ultimate Power. We're going to attempt that. Good, good. So you'll notice that we've gotten de-equipped. But we now have the Nye weapons. The strongest weapons in the game. That's why we didn't buy any weapons that would take out both hands or anything like that at New Moda. Because we were going to get these so soon. And what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to go to Mistoke. I'm going to sell everything that we don't need. And I'm going to deck everyone out with the best equipment. And then I'll come back, let you know what everyone has on them. And then we'll head off to the final area. This takes a while. This is the last one, though, I think. Okay. We have Nye Slicer, Nye Shot, Nye Sword, Nye Claw, Nye Bow. I'll see you after I go to Mistoke. Okay, I've made all the purchases required. And for Aiden, we have a Laconian Helm, Nye Sword, Planar Armor, Royal Boot. I'm going to equip the Sapphire just because. For Mew, we have Laconian Ribbon, Nye Claw, Planar Claw, Royal Vest, Force Boots. Wren, Laconian Gear, Nye Shot, Royal Protector. Gwen, Royal Crown, Nye Bow, Royal Fablira, Force Boot. And Kara, Laconian Bandana, Nye Slicer, Planar Slicer, Royal Rope, Force Boot. That's the best equipment that we can have. Pretty much it. I think there's one thing you get in the last dungeon for Wren, but that's it. Now for techniques, I have Kara on Gearez, Mew on Gearez, Aiden on Rez, and Gwen on Rever. The reason I have her on Rever is because you really only need 2 healers for the final dungeon. And it's just good to have Rever because we are weaker in this generation. And there's some pretty strong one-shot enemies in the final dungeon that you want to be careful of. Now, let's head to Terminus. So, from Mistoke, head to this airport. Or any airport in Frigidia. And it doesn't have to be from Frigidia, but that's where I already was. Let's head to the east. You should see a palace. This is the one you want to go to. Head a little bit northeast. Airport. Airstrip, whatever. I don't know. Runway, I guess, is what I probably should call it. But it looks like there's a control tower next to it, so whatever. Let's head on down to that palace. You should be ripping and tearing these enemies up in here. Oh, alright, then this palace. Now, in Terminus, I think the overworld of Terminus has the strongest enemies in the game. Or the most dangerous, at least. Because they can hit everybody, almost every single one of them can hit everybody for quite a bit of damage, and the ones in the final dungeon are really, they hit one person hard. So, I will show you all of the very dangerous enemies in Terminus. Coming soon. On the left we have a Malefic, on the right we have a Goat King. Malefic has, look at that damage. Malefic has some pretty rough magic attacks. On the left we have a Goat Man. Goat Man. On the left we have a Baneful. On the left we have the last of the goats, a Goat Duke. Or 2 Goat Dukes, I suppose. They have pretty good balance. Okay, this enemy is called a Dire, and I believe that's the last enemy that we haven't fought on Terminus. I was actually wrong. In the top right we have a Carter, and in the bottom right we have Imp Vials. These are the last 2. Fairly certain of it now. But the last area in Terminus is floating, so we got to use the landing strip, whatever. So when you're ready, head on in here, change into your aerojet, and you're gonna want to head east, pretty much straight east. Do you see this? Fly in it. Welcome to the city of Lachute.